Hi everyone. Today I'm sharing Airbnb's big plan for 2025. For the past 2 years, they've been working from a playbook built on three clear goals. One, making hosting mainstream, empowering more people to become hosts. Two, perfecting the core service, improving short term rentals and guest experience. And three, expanding beyond the core, entering new markets like real estate and maybe transportation. This year, 2025, the focus will be on these pillars, but Airbnb is diving deeper into the third one, expanding beyond the core. Brian Chesky, Airbnb CEO, compares this shift to how Amazon grew from selling books to becoming the everything store. Airbnb wants to become much more than a travel platform. It's aiming to combine housing, transportation, and community building into one app that you could be using daily. Of course, this bold vision depends on getting it right, navigating regulations, winning over users, and scaling successfully. So, what does that look like? Let's have a close look. First, let's talk about the most exciting part for a lot of you, which is exploring new verticals. So, Airbnb is expanding both its existing services and venturing into completely new markets. So, number one, it's already working on improving what it's got. So, beyond short term rentals, for example, it's got two activities that you know about. For example, experiences. In 2025, Airbnb will be revamping its experiences program to focus on local activities, turning it into something you may use every week, not just on vacation. The other thing I want to mention here, which is already beyond the core, beyond the short stays, is the long stays. Right, rentals of 28 days or more make up nearly 20% of Airbnb bookings already. Booked nights. I mean, not bookings, booked nights. So this segment is growing as more hosts shift toward long-term stays due to stricter rules around short-term rentals. So this is both answering a need from the guests and then from the host who may want to move to longer stays. So that's what's already beyond the core, right? Let's talk about other initiatives. So something people don't often mention is that Airbnb has other marketplace already live on its interface. The first one is Airbnb-Friendly Apartments. It's a program that spans 750 buildings and 200,000 units in the US, and it's just expanded internationally to the UK, adding nearly 1,500 units in London. Renters can host part time while landlords maintain oversight. So, what it means basically, if I'm a tenant, I can find a place to stay for 2 to 3 years on Airbnb. And if I want to, I can rent it out on Airbnb, make money. Airbnb has just launched as well Airbnb-friendly condos. So it's a program in the US for the moment, designed for condo owners and homeowner associations, making hosting easier while addressing community concerns. It's already doing well in Miami. It'll expand to Latin America in 2025. So here, right, it's answering the issue of multi-unit buildings that may restrict, may ban Airbnbs. It's a way basically for Airbnb again to make sure it's got supply in its important markets. But let's talk about new marketplaces that Airbnb may want to launch. As I just said, Airbnb may want to launch. They say they will launch two new verticals per year in the coming years. So one that got mentioned about 2 years ago by Brian Chesky was car sharing. So Airbnb may be looking to launch a peer-to-peer car rental service, making it as simple to rent a car as to book a home. After all, Airbnb has convinced you, or convinced a lot of people, to share their place with guests. Why not convince them to share their car? So this service already exists, but it's the same kind of thinking, right? You have an asset. Why don't you try to, when you don't use it, why don't you try to make money on it? Another one, that's a wild guess, right? But it's roommate matching. I know it's wild, but let's imagine, right, with Airbnb's expertise in housing and creating trust systems, and with all the data they've gathered on a lot of people, right, from preferences, guest travels, who know, maybe they will even not only to right, to allow people to be tenants in Airbnb-friendly buildings. But why not? They could even be able to match roommates, right? Because Airbnb always said that they want to address loneliness, which is a crisis according to them. So how about making money on this and helping match people? So these are just like ways to expand beyond the core, right? Another one I want to mention is something that needs to happen for this to work is how they want to empower hosts, right? In 2025, first, we can apparently Airbnb will be launching its host service marketplace, right? It's for hosts, mostly short-term rental hosts, to connect with providers that can give for example, provide operational software or operation software for maintenance or checklists, or even a revenue management software. Basically, all the third-party software you can find that usually connect to your PMS would be available straight into this Airbnb wholesale marketplace launching in 2025, which of course is, why use a PMS then if you have everything within Airbnb? Another one I want to mention as well is the co-host network. The co-host network launched a couple of weeks ago. It's about pairing hosts with experienced ones, even property managers, to improve service quality. Um, that's a way to help with supply, maybe even convince property managers to hang out more in the Airbnb ecosystem. That's really about for all this to work. So you can see, right, for Airbnb strategy to work in 2025, they're not just like expanding a new verticals, right? They also make sure they give more access to more services to hosts, or even if connect the hosts with each other to make sure that in the end Airbnb has better supply. Another side of it, for this to work, this strategy in 2025 is on a guest side, and that's personalization or AI. Um, the first thing of course, in 2024, we've heard Brian Chesky talk about the AI concierge they want to build, right? This idea, that makes sense, right? If you think about this, first, Airbnb has invented, right? Over the years, they've been collecting an enormous amount of information about what you prefer, either the guest or the host, right? Um, Preferences, behaviors, preferred amenities. Even as a host, if you look at this, the new host passport, they collect things such as the school you went to, the bands you prefer. That's a lot of data you can use to know something about people and then to personalize and present things. And that's very important, right? Because if Airbnb is going to have multiple verticals, they want to know what to show you on the homepage, right? Should I show you short stays, long stays, cars, experiences? What should I do, right? So they need all this data. They need this AI concierge in a way to make sure that you're going to be using Airbnb not just during your vacation, but also maybe on a daily basis, or why not what to do this weekend? Let's look at the local experience, for example. Oh, why don't we make money? We need to go somewhere. Why not we rent a car on Airbnb? It's completely possible. So we can see that there's work being done on the host side, on the guest side, to make sure that underneath it's working. Something I talked about recently as well in an article where we compared Airbnb's approach with Amazon. What Airbnb, of course, is also busy building is not only marketplaces, but trust system. So, Airbnb has this, you review the host, you review the guest. So trust systems are very important in these marketplaces, right? And the third thing Airbnb has been always building is really a payment platform, right? For all this to work, you need to be able to take payments and do payouts and in whatever form people want to pay across the world in their currency. So you can see how to power these new marketplaces, Airbnb also need to make sure the trust systems are working and that the payment and payouts are working. So this is where we go into challenges and opportunities in a way, right? So the big opportunities in 2025 for Airbnb is first using the data, right? Something that we don't want to overlook. They have now deep insights, right? They can create personalized services from travel accommodations to car rental. Why not, right? They have deep insights into what you do, what you like. They've been collecting data for years. Something also to look into that they've been really good at empowering entrepreneurs. Airbnb helps people turn their homes or even, why not, their car in the future into income. New programs and guides will make it even easier. Think about this, the co-hosting program, all these things where they really help people become entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs thrive on that platform. They've been really, really good at this, and that can really, really help them succeed as their ecosystem is expanding. Um, Last thing is their app. They have a pretty good app, right? So Airbnb could create with this an integrated system that's convenient and keep users coming back. That's really the beauty of Airbnb if you compare, for example, with Vrbo or Booking.com. That the app is the one you use whether you're a host or a guest, right? Because you can be in that position, right? Maybe I want to share, I want to use. That's really, really good for them because you can be presented into opportunities as they're expanding the marketplace. Maybe you want to become a tenant somewhere, or you want to make money with your car. You can do this because suddenly they can treat you as a supplier or as a user of the platform with this one app. Again, AI will be very important to understand what to tell you when. The challenges then we have is staying focused. Expanding in so many areas can pull resources away from their core business of short term rentals. Number two, regulations. When it comes to short term rental, we know about regulations, but think about this. It's going to be even more complicated for them, for Airbnb, right? They will have to care about regulations about car sharing across the world, real estate. It's really important that they're going to have to uh, deal with so many different kind of regulations. That's very tricky, and explain that to users. Also, um, Airbnb created the Airbnbs, right? We shouldn't call these Airbnbs, but that's how people call this. They didn't create short-term rentals, they didn't create vacation rentals, but a lot of people, they did, right? Um, but here, for example, imagine you want to go into car sharing. Well, there's players, for example, new users. You have Turo and Zipcar, blah, blah, car in Europe. Um, so maybe we have to find a way to stand out here because it's not blue ocean here, right? It's suddenly this they're entering things that already exist. So will they be able to do it in a new way that's been not been done before? It will be fresh, attract people, interesting. Last one is maintaining trust. When you expand to areas like roommate matching, car rentals, again, is adapt. You need to adapt your systems for reviews and safety, which can be tricky, right? Also, on the other hand, I do feel like you are really want Airbnb to have like this big score, this big rating about me when I drive a car, when I host, when I stay somewhere. I don't know. I become might Airbnb know too much about me? Would I be comfortable about that? I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe I'm too European for that, care about privacy and rules. So 2025, Airbnb is sticking to its playbook, right? Making hosting mainstream, perfecting the core service, expanding beyond the core. But this year, the focus on expansion is bigger than ever. From real estate to car sharing to AI personalization, Airbnb positioning itself as a lifestyle platform that goes beyond travel. Challenges are real, but if Airbnb can leverage data, empower users, and scale globally, it has the potential to redefine how we live, travel, and connect. That's at least that's what they want to do, or want us to believe, or want investors to think. But what do you think about Airbnb's plans? Let me know. Thanks for listening.